see you, let them work with you. And wallahi, by Allah, if ever there came a difficulty, they will stand next to you. They will stand by you, they will defend you. Because some of these people are people of justice. They have good hearts, good characters. They will stand with you, they will defend you. But give them, open your arms and your hearts to them so that they can see the true beauty of Islam. You know? So Shahada, after Shahada you take the details. Some objections, I need to study more about Islam. Some people say, right, when you are trying to give them Shahada, or they start saying, oh, I'm not with my family, my friends, what will they think if I become a Muslim? Looking for a sign, I need to investigate the other religions, I need more time, I don't feel it. Okay, you want to make it easy for the people, right? Firstly, you don't want to sound desperate, that you're dying for a Shahada. It's not a Shahada game, it's not a number game. It is only giving da'wah. But if a person is showing these signs, then you should give responses that don't delay it, make it quick, you know, and don't wait too long. If you're convinced that this is the haqq, then accept it, inshallah ta'ala. So you give the Shahada and tell them to repeat after you. And alhamdulillah, by using this methodology, we have had hundreds of Shahadas, okay? And by the time you reach up to the Prophet ﷺ in his truthfulness, most cases, you know, you're saying that they may come back to the questions. This is our experience. This is what our experience is. Most cases, they will not ask those questions anymore. Their questions have been answered already. They know why you believe in God. They know why you believe God is one. They know why that God has sent down revelations and why you believe in a revelation. And they know why you believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They know all these things. Once these things have been clarified, they will understand that why they cannot criticize the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam anymore, because there are people who truly believe that he was a true prophet of God, and there are reasons, strong reasons to believe so. So now our course has ended, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't want to tell you this before, but I haven't slept all night. Subhanallah. You know, I was on one of the TV appeals, and because this course was, I had committed to this course, so I only slept in the train for maybe an hour or something, and inshallah I will sleep on the way back in the train, you know, with peace. So if you have any questions, please do put them forward. If you want to understand something, if you want to make a statement, please do so, inshallah.
What's the best way, because there's a lot of points,
yes,
and every stage,
yes,
you said 5 minutes,
yeah,
but every stage you have to give quickly 11, you must
Don't-
have a lot of answers in your head
yes,
for the different angles it's going to come.
that's right, yeah,
A lot of,
yeah.
what's the best way to know all this information, where to go? Because we are
Good,
not, we are
very
Arabs,
good.
so I
You
know
see-
it in Arabic,
Okay,
but when it goes to English,
okay. I sent you an email, right?
yeah,
One of the documents was this, right?
Yeah.
This folder. The other document is a summary of the entire course with all the reasons, with bullet points. Okay? So I request that every single brother give your email to our brother here, and he will make a group email and send those documents to you. This one and the other one, which is 21 pages. Print it, download it and print it, and read it. At least go home once and read it and practice it with your children, with your family, and then practice it with a non-Muslim and see how it works. See how it works. So please do not sit on this knowledge, do not sit on this methodology and not use it. Otherwise, it is basically, we have wasted time today. The purpose is that we fulfill our duties, our obligation towards non-Muslims in this country, inshallah ta'ala. So I request that you use this knowledge. So do you think this methodology is effective? Do you think it's effective? If it's delivered effectively, properly, it can work. Okay? Because I have actually used it non-stop. I used to think that maybe this methodology doesn't work with all non-Muslims. Actually, it works with Muslims. Wallahi, it works with Muslims. When you start to explain to Muslims, I did a program on television in Pakistan in the Urdu language, and I did exactly this. I explained Islam rationally, just like this. You know, I gave reasons, and what they did was the TV channel, they put up images of the planets and all that, and all the evidence I was talking about. You know, the feedback was so amazing. These are Muslims.
Yeah.
It's a Muslim country. They're saying that we never, you know, the boost in Iman by looking at these things. Before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was an abstract idea, not very clear idea in our minds. It's like, okay, yeah, Allah is there. We are Muslims, yes, we believe in Allah. But when we looked at the evidence systematically, it started to become more real. The idea of Allah started to become more real in our lives. So,
reading tafsir after reading Quran,
yes,
you don't know because you don't know tafsir. So
that's right. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Sheikh.
Yes, to the people who would like to give the evidence or the answer of these evidence as their family
Yes.
they live with,
Yes.
they might be not Muslims.
Right.
So we would like to avoid or to have more knowledge for the answers later on.
Then study. Then study. This is very basic. What we did today was very basic for every Muslim. Every Muslim can do this. Okay? You don't need to be a scholar to give da'wah, first of all. You don't need to be an allama to give da'wah. Da'wah, every Muslim can do it because every Muslim knows Allah exists. Every Muslim believes that Allah is one. Every Muslim believes the Quran is the word of Allah. Every Muslim believes that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the messenger of Allah. So we need to know how to prove this. You know, not every Muslim knows how to prove it.
For example, if someone is a Muslim and his father and mother is
Yeah.
not yet, so where they should start from this point?
They should simply work, they should use this methodology to give da'wah to their parents. Start with God's existence. Number one, the first thing is God's existence. That is the most important part, and which is usually the most difficult part to convince people about.
Is proving the existence of Allah by logic.
By
Logic.
By Quran, we all the evidence. Quran uses logical ideas. When Quran says, "Am khuliqu min ghairi shay'in," why is Allah asking that question? Am humul khaliqun? It's a logical question, right? Allah is asking, who created this? Was it created? Did you create yourselves, or were you created from nothing? So these are logical questions. Allah is using logic in the Quran. So we use these arguments, and we did not use any argument today outside of the Quran and the Sunnah. Alhamdulillah. Some people think these are philosophical arguments. You know, there are arguments, for example, you know, for the existence of God, philosophers use a number of different arguments. For example, one of the arguments is called cosmological argument. Okay? Another one is called teleological argument, which is fine-tuning. Then there's another argument called argument from design. There's an argument from morality. That if God doesn't exist, then there is no morality. Then you don't have to follow any rules. If God doesn't exist, then you are free to do what you want. That's another very good point you can raise with people. If God doesn't exist, then there is no good and bad. Do you agree?
Who decides?
Who decides? I can do whatever I want, as long as I can get away with it. That's why there is so much crime and pedophilia and rape in the society. People are molesting children, they are abusing children. Why? Because they know maybe there is no God, so who's going to ask me any questions anyway? That's why people abuse animals. You go to one of the slaughterhouses, see how animals are killed. You say Alhamdulillah for Islam. Wallahi, you say Alhamdulillah for Islam. I saw one of the videos, they were putting alive, living chicks into a mince machine. Because they don't have the time to kill them all quickly. So what they do is, the female, I don't know if you've seen that procedure, what they do is they're throwing them like this. They're taking them out and throwing them like this. They keep the females because they want to grow them and have eggs from the reproduction, yeah? Male chicks, mince meat, alive. Don't believe me? YouTube. Go and watch it. We say Alhamdulillah for Islam. Wallahi. The way they kill animals, the way they, some of the piglets, even pig, you can't torture a pig, even a pig in Islam. You can't. Sorry? Oh, dogs, yes, how they kill. In China, in Cambodia, you see how they kill the dog. They hit the dog in the head first and then put the knife through the dog. And wallahi, some of these Chinese firms, those who sell the fur, the fur from raccoon dogs, They skin the dog alive.
Yes.
They don't kill the dog, they skin the dog alive.
It's got to be alive when they...
Yes. Yes. So we say Alhamdulillah for Islam, Wallahi. Allah has blessed us with Islam. Without Islam, we don't know what would have happened to this world.
Yeah. Could be
Yes.
done.
Even though Muslims are in a big mess, even then Muslims are a sign of mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, because our Muslim lands are very different socially from the rest of the world. Look at Mexico. Go to South America, you will see what kufr does to societies. South America, go and see how people live. You'll be shocked. China, go to China, go to India, and see how people live because of kufr. Russia,
I think they are freedom. They can do whatever they want.
that's freedom to destroy the world, basically. That freedom is to destroy the world. What kind of freedom is
I
that?
think they lost their faith. Even they got Christian, majority of them that's South American.
Yes.
But they lost their faith.
And Islam is the fastest growing religion in South America as well. Colombia, places like Colombia and Cuba. Cuba was communist. There are masajids in Cuba now. There are people now growing in numbers in Cuba, Mexico, thousands of people, thousands of Muslims, Native Americans in Nicaragua. You know, Nicaragua is a country, it is a very small country in Central America, big Muslim community. One brother came to Islam from Nicaragua, you know, Allah Akbar, I heard his story, I was shocked. He said that he watched once on the news on TV, the Kaaba. I met him, this brother, at Hajj last year. He's from Nicaragua, Native American. He said he was watching TV and he saw the Kaaba and he started crying. So for no reason he looked at the Kaaba and he started crying. People doing tawaf, labbaik, Allahumma labbaik. He started crying. He said, I want to go and see this place. So he went to some Muslims, some Palestinians in the main city. And you know, these brothers, they don't really practice. They are just there for businesses. So they gave him shahada, broken shahada, some strange, you know, they did something with him. Yeah? So he did his shahada and he said, I want to go for Hajj. So he came for Hajj some years ago. And then he met some brothers at Hajj and he told them this. It took him 46 or I don't know how many hours to get to Saudi Arabia from Nicaragua. It was a very long flight. And then he went to Hajj and he was crying and he met the brothers and he told them his story. He went back to Nicaragua, one man, 500 Muslims now with him. One man, 500 Muslims. His son I met, he was memorizing the Quran. So there are examples like this. It's just up to us how we want to end our lives, you know, because we will all die one day. We should give da'wah, we should make sure that Allah has reasons to forgive us on the day of judgment. To give da'wah and bring as many people as possible to close to Islam, if not into Islam, inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan for being present. If I made any errors, mistakes, please forgive me. You know, half my brain is completely lost. The other half is awake and it's about to die. The battery is about to switch off. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanallah.
You got other parts of this course, or are they just the first part?
There is this course, then there is another course which is on Christianity. It's called Restoration of Christianity. It is about how we deal with the Christian questions, for example. How do we deal with Christians? How do we express our view on the Bible, whether the Bible is corrupted or not? How is it corrupted? Is it corrupted by text or by meaning? Okay, is it tahrif bil harf or tahrif bil ma'na? Okay, we have to explain what our view is on the Bible. Then we have to explain what is our view on Christianity in general, Trinity, for example, or the divinity of Jesus Christ. So we have a full day course on that. Okay. Then there's another course on the history of Islam that we can, through evidence, prove that Islam was one of the best things that happened to humanity. And behind the civilization of Islam is Islam itself, the Quran, right? So we have historical evidence. There's a course from history that the Muslims, first of all, when they emerged on the scene in Syria and in Iraq and other lands, what did they do with the people? Did they massacre them? Did they take all the resources and plunder them? Or did they let them live in peace and justice? And how did the Jews and Christians live under the Muslims? What were the treaties like? The Treaty of Najran, the Treaty of Jerusalem, when Umar ibn Khattab, he had an agreement with the Christians of Ilya. Ilya was Palestine, okay, and other treaties. And then what did the Christians and Jews say about the Muslim treatment, right? What did they say? How did the Muslims treat them, right? And then what was the outcome, the result? The result was Islamic civilization. Okay, so there's a course on that called The Legacy of Islam. It's called The Legacy of Islam. So inshallah in the future, when, sorry?
Do you online or how do you?
We can do them here. I spoke to brother Rachid. My request is when we do these kind of courses, there should be more people here to benefit. It's not because of me, I don't care. Even if it's one person sitting and listening to me, I'm happy. You know, because that one person may outweigh 100 people in his effectiveness in giving dawah. But the more the merrier, people can learn about the deen, how they can articulate the deen, you know. Some of these things we learn today, you will not learn from our conventional, traditional scholars teaching in the masajid, because they themselves haven't been through these things, you know. They are very traditional in their methods and they're very random.
You have to conclude. You have to find out.
Yes, exactly. This is the core. So this is the result of, wallahi, you think this course was put together just like that? It's the result of many years research. You know, Abdurrahim Green, he is the main proponent. He's the main person behind this course. You know how many years he's been giving da'wah for? 25 years. 25 years. Thousands of people have come to Islam through him. He worked hard. He spoke to ulama, scholars, and a lot of research has gone into producing these courses. A lot of hard work which has been put together. So we should be bothered enough to come together, inshallah. I think it's because of Ramadan, people are feeling too tired and maybe they want to rest. That's why I think next courses, inshallah, we should do after Ramadan. After Ramadan, we announce it on a Saturday. I'm very sure more people will be present. I think we should do that course, Legacy of Islam, first. It will be very, very powerful. It will be very, very something. I can guarantee you that information will blow your minds away. It's so powerful, it will blow your minds away. You don't know about it. I know that because it has been collected from a lot of books of history. And I know most of you are probably not historians. And even if you are historians, you know, like we have Sheikh Salawi, who has written extensively from Libya, you know, on the history of Islam. His method is very traditional. But what we have done, we have taken a lot of information from Western academic sources. Western historians teaching in Cambridge, Oxford and Harvard, from their books we have gathered a lot of evidence to support our claim that Islam was one of the best things that happened to humanity. Even Western scholars have acknowledged that. In fact, one of the Jewish scholars, his name is Bernard Lewis, he states that Muslims protected the Jewish people. Muslims protected the Jewish people for over 1,000 years. Otherwise, the Jewish people would have been extinct. The Europeans, the Catholics, they were hunting the Jewish people on a daily basis and they would have been extinct. That's why the Jews, when they were living under the Muslim government in Spain, they called it the Golden Age. That's when they produced their best scholars, their best poets in the Jewish history. They were born in Al-Andalus, by the way. Judah Halavi, okay, or Samuel ben Hanagid, for example, or Hasdai ibn Shaprut, he was the prime minister. He was the prime minister to the most powerful Muslim king in Western Europe, Abdurrahman III. His prime minister was Jewish. Subhanallah. So, and the Jewish people were writing at that time that our living standard is a lot better than the Muslims themselves. We have complete freedom to live in peace. Recently, only recently, in the last 3 to 4 decades, some Zionist Jewish scholars have started questioning these well-established facts. They started questioning because when you put the picture of Islam and its treatment of the Jewish people in front of the people, people say, okay, what was wrong with that time? The Jews were living very happily with the Muslims. What changed? What changed? So some of these people have a political agenda. They don't want people to know the truth because then the blame goes on the state of Israel. After the state of Israel was created, things changed. the Middle Eastern Jews now, a lot of them from Morocco and Tunisia and Yemen, they left and they migrated to Israel, okay, to strengthen the state of Israel. That's when things changed. Otherwise, subhanallah, one of the biggest hubs of Jewish activity was Iraq. The oldest Jewish community in the world is where? From Iraq. Iraqi Jewish people. The Babylonian Jews, we call them, because they survived for centuries. Likewise, there are scholars who state that some of the minor Christian sects, some of the firaq, they only survived because Muslims came to power in the land of Sham and Egypt. Otherwise, the dominant church, the Roman church, was going to destroy Nestorians, Jacobites, Monophysites, and other Christian denominations, Syrian Orthodox, or even Coptic Orthodox. Coptic Christians only survived because the Muslims came to power. And when Muslims came in, when Amr bin As radiallahu anh came with the army, 5,000 men, how was he able to defeat the Romans with such a small number? Of course, we know the help of Allah was there, but the people, mashallah, someone called me. So the people, they started to support Amr bin As against the Romans. So these are some of the facts we will share, inshallah ta'ala. And when you want to do it, inshallah ta'ala, I hope that you will get more people together so that they can benefit from it, inshallah. Now we will stop before I collapse. Otherwise you're going to have to call an ambulance.
As well.
Sorry?
Non-Muslim welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No problem. With non-Muslims, they will actually see something very positive and great about Islamic civilization. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك جزاكم الله خير اخوان. Allah bless you and Allah accept from you. Ameen. Okay, so now we can close this, inshallah. The time